Hi, and welcome to this brief demo on how to set up your main action plan or your map in Microsoft To Do. To begin, I'm going to invite you to be in your Microsoft Outlook or your email page, please. Once here, let's consider what your core priorities are. What are the main buckets of work in which all of the tasks and matters that you deal with roll up into? Let's go ahead and create those categories. In the top bar of your screen, where my cursor is, you will notice 4 colored squares. Let's go ahead and click on this, and we're going to scroll to the bottom to All Categories. In this All Categories area, I will invite you to rename these core priorities based on those in your role. You'll notice here that I have identified blue as core priority A, green as core priority B, peach as core priority C, and purple as my supporting tasks. You may consider a 5th category, a personal category, and perhaps a future priorities category. Once those have been renamed, you can hit OK and save and close. Our next step is to create a quick start button to allow you to transfer emails right into your Microsoft To Do map. To do this, I'll invite you to take your cursor and go to the quick start section of your screen. If you add a new quick step, we can ensure that this new created task is easily accessible from your inbox. Scroll down to the custom setting within this subsection. Here you can either name the quick step, or under this drop-down box, you can choose an action which we will select Create a Task with Attachment. Once we've selected Create a Task with Attachment, we can click Finish, and this step has been set up. You'll now notice in the top section of your ribbon that there is a quick step of Create a Task. We'll go back to this in just a moment. Now I'm going to invite you to head over to Microsoft To Do. You'll notice this on the left-hand side in the furthest left ribbon. This is a blue check mark. Go ahead and click on Microsoft To Do. Your Microsoft To Do may not look like what you see on my screen, so I'm going to invite you to set up a similar view. First, let's start by going to the settings wheel just above the top of My Day on the left-hand side. Let's scroll down, and we want to ensure that we're looking only at the tasks that we are needing. Important tasks are tasks that are starred. Planned tasks are tasks that are anything beyond today. Some of these settings are a bit redundant, so I will invite you to toggle off these 2 settings while ensuring that we have all tasks, completed tasks, toggled on. You'll notice in my Microsoft To Do, I have my core priorities set up here by category, and within those, you'll notice that I have a series of tasks that are assigned. I'm going to show you the first way of adding tasks to your map. In Tasks on the left-hand side, you can click on the Add a Task button. From here, we are going to add our action-oriented subject. If we click Enter, it will quick add this task. However, this subject is only one of the 3 key components of the task. I'll want to add my due date as well as my core priority. I'm going to scroll down to the task that I just created in order to show you how to categorize this. When we click on the task that I just created of creating a proposal for client, I can ensure that I've chosen the correct core priority or category in which this aligns to. For me, this is core priority B, so I'm going to add it to this list. This section here on the right-hand side will show me all of the extra pieces of the task that I can populate. Should this task have an extra step, a sub-step, I could add that in. Perhaps I needed to connect with a colleague before I create the proposal. I can then add this in as a subset of this master task. I can also add files and add notes in the bottom section of the task. If all looks good, I can move out of this task and on to the next. Now I'm going to show you the second way to add a task to your task list, and in my opinion, probably the most efficient way. I would imagine that most of the work that you are assigned, whether it is from managers, clients, or other forms of organization, come through email. That being said, let's leverage the create a task with attachment button that we set up and create a task with our email. I am going to create a task from this email that I have highlighted. Once the email is highlighted, all I have to do is click on the create a task with attachment button and a new window will populate. Now, if this subject line is not exactly what I need to do, I will go ahead and rewrite this subject to be my next step. What is the actionable piece that I need to do? I'll ensure to add a due date as well as the core priority. You'll notice here that I have an attachment in the notes section. Not only can I go ahead and add steps or add narrative or context for this task, but this attachment is in fact the email, which allows me to, once saved and closed in my task, access this email when I'm ready to access the task. I'm going to go ahead and save and close. And then if we cruise over to Microsoft To Do, we can scroll down and find that task that was just added. To review, there are two ways to add a task in Microsoft To Do. One, we can use the Add a Task button here at the top in our task section. Remember that once you click Enter and create the task, you will need to click on it to add the core priority on the side. Secondly, we can add a task using the Create a Task with Attachment Quick Step button that we created at the outset. This is probably where you're going to find yourself creating the tasks mostly. The final step I'd like to share with you is after I add my email to my task list using the Creating a Task with Attachment button, I can now take this email and file it accordingly. What this does is this allows me to keep my email inbox streamlined, knowing that all of the work that I have to do is in my task list and all of the emails that I need to action be in my inbox. I hope that you found that this tutorial was helpful. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out.